If you're on the hunt for actionable insights on escaping the corporate grind, embracing entrepreneurship, and building financial freedom, then you've found your guide. Welcome to The Deep Dive with Drake, where the success stories of real entrepreneurs unfold. Join host Drake Abshire as he delves into creating a multifaceted entrepreneurial career, inspired by his impactful Southern heritage. The stage is set. Let's embark on this journey with Drake.
Welcome, y'all, to episode 2 of The Deep Dive with Drake. I'm so honored to have you listening. I am beyond excited now for episode 2. And what are we going to talk about today? Well, today's going to be a solo episode, and I'm actually going to be speaking on my knowledge and my experience with branding. I am not in any way just going to disclose this, a branding expert. I have, though, in my career, built brands, multiple brands for myself. I've branded this podcast. I have branded my social media. I have branded my real estate business. I have branded my real estate team that I have. I branded myself as a personal trainer. So over the years, I have built numerous brands and have come to understand, well, what is a brand? How is it going to affect your business? The people who are watching you, what are they going to feel? What do they think? All of these things are so important in entrepreneurship or building a proper business. You have to understand the ins and outs of a brand, why you need to know these things. And this is what's going to help you to continue to grow. A brand is really something that's going to invoke feeling in people, right? They really start to understand, well, what is behind this brand? And I love to paint the picture for people to really understand how a brand works. So I love to use the analogy. If you think of Ford, for example, Ford truck. When you think of Fords, you think of the commercials and the way that they brand them as being tough, right? American made. They always show them with big loads of bricks or concrete being dropped right into the back of the truck, and it handles the load really well, right? They're built Ford tough. That's the idea. Or if you think about Coca-Cola, there are plenty of soft drinks out there. There are so many different kinds of soft drinks. So why is Coca-Cola unique? Why should you crack open a Coke? Well, not only do you know that red symbol, right, and their branding that they've been consistent with throughout the years, but if you watch any of their commercials or any of their branding, they're not selling just a refreshing drink. They're selling happiness. They're selling a joyful feeling, experiences that you have with friends. So it not only shows people going to movies, they're riding bikes, they're doing things outside. They're invoking a feeling. You're at the beach, they're surfing, they're doing all of these different things that it's refreshing to have a Coke, right? So they're saying we open happiness when you have a Coke. And so that's the same thing. When I look at you or when I study your business, what is your brand saying about you as a person? That's what we're going to try to invoke here. That's the things we want to talk about. That's going to be so strong about building a brand that's unforgettable and that people are going to continue to come back for. And it's going to be instantly recognizable because that's what we want. We want something fast that when people see something, they go, oh, that's Drake. That's Drake's brand right there. And that's what I'm used to seeing, right? Consistency. So first of all, when it comes to branding, let's dive into that first point, which is going to be understanding who your audience is, right? So when you're a brand, you have to understand, well, who is that target audience, right? Who are the people that I'm specifically trying to get in front of? What are their problems? What are their pain points that I'm planning to solve, right? What are their common questions? Those are the types of things that will help my brand to stand out specifically to the audience that I'm targeting, right? So I have to hone in what they call that brand messaging. So part of this will involve some research on your end, right? To truly understand your audience and that target people. I love to say this expression because I've heard it from my personal real estate coach and my coaches throughout my life was that if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one, right? Meaning, if you keep it too general, if it's too broad, then it's not going to relate to anybody. It's not going to really hit home for them. And what we want is for them to feel like they're speaking directly to them. that you are speaking directly to them. Let's cut that out. So what you want them to feel is that you are speaking directly to them when you're talking about your brand. And that's when it's going to invoke that emotion in them. And that's what causes people to want to buy, sell, or work with you, right? And that's the goal here. So we talk about brand, we talk about messaging. We're talking about specifically, though, what are their pain points, right? What are the needs and the desires of this target audience? Those are the things that's really going to help to move the needle. When we start to see those things, then we can create a plan around our content, whether it be social media, whether it be our marketing materials, whether it be the scripts that we use. Everything in general needs to have that same messaging wrapped up in a nice little bow, and it targets that specific audience. Now, my second point would be defining your identity of your brand, right? Why is it so important to define the identity of your brand? Because it needs to be a persona that is immediately recognizable and obviously differentiates you from the people around you, right? So we have to specify exactly who we are going to be serving, right? And exactly what they can expect when they get from us. The best way to put it is to think of its personality, right? What is someone's personality? So when we look at them, we know there's certain qualities and their characteristics that they have, right? So just like if we go back to that Coke or that Ford truck, we talk about, right? Ford's known for being tough. Coke is open for happiness. So what does your brand speak about you? What are the values of your brand? What is the mission statement that you guys have? What is the overall message that you are trying to present to people? Because once you can really hone in that messaging, your brand is going to speak so much louder. It's going to be so much more powerful. And of course, you're going to find so much more of an audience feeling like, man, this really resonates with me, and this truly is reaching what I want. My third point now is going to be crafting a story that's compelling, right? So storyboarding or creating a compelling story is going to be so important with bringing life to the brand. One of the beautiful things I love that I'm seeing so much more is that people are doing brand videos, and they're doing videos through storylines that they're telling. They're showing off their family. They're showing off the services that they have, where they come from, talking about who they are, talking about the people on their team. What do they do that's different? What's special about their process? Give us something sticky in that compelling story, right? What's even more beautiful is if you can give an actual story of anything that you've done through your brand, right? Helping people to identify specifically. For instance, I have some content that I had recently put out before, and I talked specifically about Louisiana because all my brand has always been about Southern hospitality. And, I want to be that guy that's your friend next door. I want to be friends with you. You feel comfortable with me. That's my brand. That's who I am. Southern roots, right? Strong Southern hospitality. Well, this lady had reached out to me all the way from Ghana, and she had actually said that she had found my YouTube channel and watched some of my content. She had saw me on TikTok and watched a bunch of videos that I had produced. Well, I was showing her the house, and I was talking about a few things that were happening within the home, and what did she love about it? What do you love about the area? And she was like, yeah, we're really loving the area, Drake. And then she goes, how's your mom and them? And it made me laugh. All I could do was bust out smiling, because how in the world would an African person that moved all the way here from Ghana know around that Southern saying that we say here, how's your mom and them? That's a very, very Southern thing. And I talked about in that video how these are the things you need to know if you move to this area, right? So she knew immediately from my brand the kind of sayings that we knew from the area, and she felt comfortable even using it as I guess you could say, a tongue-in-cheek nod. And I thought it was so powerful in that moment. It really gave me chills because it felt like I was on the right path. My brand and my messaging was reaching people, and it was making sense. Number 4 would be designing memorable visuals. And what we mean by designing memorable visuals is stuff that's going to make you stand apart, right? We pick colors, we pick logos, we pick things that all look and feel consistent across the board. So think about what your color schemes are going to be. What I usually tell people is you don't want to exceed more than 3 colors. That should be mainly what you're using within your brand. For instance, my brand, I have gold as being at the core of my colors, but I have blue layered in, I have some whites. You'll see some other colors that are in there, but the main consistent colors that you will see consistently across everything is going to be either some type of that navy blue or that gold somewhere. And then we throw in a couple of other neutral colors that all complement it, right? But overall, those are that identity from a visual standpoint. So I use consistent fonts that come all the way from the logo through all the text that I print and everything. And then the design, we continue with that same luxe feel. So really, one of the most beneficial things I've ever done for my brand was have a mood board. If you have a mood board, then you can sit here, lay everything out from the fonts, from the textures, the colors, everything that you want. And then now you're able to build all your brand assets out from that. So meaning, what is all my print literature going to look like? What is my video editing styles going to look like? What is my logo going to look like? All of these things will help to breathe life to your brand visually. It'll capture the eyes of people, and they're going to know your brand more easily when they start to see it everywhere. Now, this is something I also like to mention as a side is consistency, how important it is with the brand. Meaning, if I have a brand colors and a profile photo that I'm using on Instagram, you bet your bottom dollar that is the same thing that you better see on Facebook, on Google Business Page, on Instagram, on TikTok. Same thing, consistency across. People love that. They immediately will identify this is Drake's correct TikTok, right? This is Drake's correct YouTube channel. That's what we really want from your brand, is that consistency. Because if they see it as a business consistent across the board, they feel much safer with you. It speaks a lot about your brand, that you're taking it to that next level and that you're stepping above what other people are willing to do because you care that much about your visuals. Point number five is going to be building trust with your brand. So you may say, well, I'm a new business. How do I build trust? Well, it's just like any business or getting any business off the ground. You're going to have to find someone who's going to give you a shot. You're going to have to slowly do things that are going to build trust in people. You have to show them that you are an expert in your field, that you have the knowledge and the know-how. And if you're a new person, then you need to show them that you're going to outwork anybody else through your brand, right? So I tell new people, you need grit. You need serious grit more than anybody else, because that's the thing. If you're up against seasoned veterans who are amazing at what they do, then why should someone pick you? Well, yes, maybe there's the obvious thing, like they could save a little money going with someone newer. Or maybe the fact that you have more time and attention that you can focus versus someone who has scaled to another level. But with either way, building that trust with people is always going to come from a place of being authentic and credibility. Authenticity of a brand is so important. People can see through lies and BS so quickly when it comes to business. So if you're making content or you're creating a brand that is not authentic to who you are as a person or the values that you stand for, you're going to have a really difficult time building trust with people. For instance, if I'm trying to build a business on honesty and integrity, but I am known as a liar and a sleazy man around town of stealing money and doing people dirty, how hard do you think is going to get people to believe that that is truly my brand if I don't even back up those same values or that mission statement? So always come from a place of looking at your clients, looking at your customers and saying, how can I build a better reputation and how can I continue to gain their respect in this field? Number 6 is going to be creating a consistent brand experience. So we've talked about that. We want to have a consistent look across the board. So now we talk about how do we do a consistent experience? Well, one of the things I've been implementing in my own business, which I think is extremely important, is actually making sure that you have SOPs, meaning you have systems and processes, everything from start to finish that every client should go through, and all of those things that'll work consistently to help you continue to treat every single client the same way. Because if you're flying by the seat of your pants, or if you're just guessing, there are going to be things you're going to miss. There are certain things clients are going to get, and there are certain things clients are not going to get from you. So really try to focus on making sure that I have everything from step by step that every single client will go through from the very second that I get in touch with them all the way to the end of the business, the second you master those things and you have every step that you follow or a checklist with every single person, that's the second you're going to start to get more referrals and more wins because everybody gets the same experience. And the great thing that comes from that is you want people to trust that if they're going to send you a recommendation, somebody that they know and love, they are saying, hey, you need to go to Drake. He's going to take care of you. Well, you want them to know that they're for sure going to get that same experience. How bad would it suck if they sent you that person and then all of a sudden they find out, well, I didn't get that gift, or Drake didn't do this emails for me. He didn't send me those videos, or he never gave me a copy of this. If they don't get all those things or that same experience, you're setting yourself up for a bit of disaster for your brand. Again, that consistency of the messaging can go into your social media and also your content. Make sure that things that you're producing are still consistent with what your brand is. Don't be reaching if you're thinking about just investments, or if you're just working with investors or just people in that space, then your thinking and your messaging is all going toward luxury real estate and what it's like being a millionaire and what it's like working with really high-end homes. You're going to be confusing the messaging of who your people are and exactly what you're trying to stand for. So make sure those things are all marrying cohesively throughout the experience. Number 7 is going to be innovation in marketing and promotion that I think is so important. So you really have to look at your marketing tactics and decide, okay, how am I going to enter the market? What are the best ways that I can attack people so they can get exposure to my brand? Meaning, is it going to be events? Are you putting on live events in person and things that get people together and get them involved? Or are you going to do just social media marketing? Are you just going to be putting that message out there on maybe all of the platforms, such as doing podcasting, doing YouTube, doing short form, long form content? All of those things are all ways that you can expose your brand and ways that you can market yourself, but you need to figure out what those things are going to be, and you need to give them 100%. I've seen many, many times people try to grow a brand and they do all of the things at once, which ends up turning into really sloppy or halfway done of pretty much all of the things. So rather, why not take 2 or 3 to start with? Hit those really hard and really strong. And once you find success with those, layer in other types of ways to get business. So for instance, is it going to be cold calling, right? Is it going to be mail marketing? Are you going to send it to people's homes? Is it an email marketing campaign? Or will you use newsletters? Are you going to hold community events? Are you going to canvas going door to door? There's all these different ways that you can continue to build your brand. Just again, you want to make sure you're having some consistency and you really, really give it your all. Because I've seen people also in many experiences, they'll try something, right? Maybe it's only a couple days, or they'll give it a week or two, when in reality, any type of marketing to really get any results from it or really know if something works, it can take months. You're talking maybe 3 months to 6 months of doing something consistently before you really can say, okay, this doesn't work. It's not working for me. I need to try something else. And next up would be number 8. We're going to talk about measuring the success of your brand. You might hear this word a lot, KPIs. So the key performance indicators, right? So when we stop and we look at our brand, we need to be able to find measurable results of what is actually working, right? Are we getting anyone saying that they consistently see us everywhere, or that we're getting known for something, right? Are we starting to see any indications that are showing us we're getting a return on investment from the brand, from that perspective, that people are really starting to understand its performance? The brand awareness is increasing. We're seeing customer loyalty, meaning people are starting to return because of the experience that they're having with us. Is there a brand sentiment, right? So these things are really, really important because you want things that you can track. These are metrics. It's really important that you track these metrics because this is how you're able to look at your performance, see what's working and what's not working. And from there, you're able to pivot or adjust the brand. That way you can continue making it better and better. So if you're not tracking or tracing anything, you really don't know how well you're doing. Yes, you might be having paychecks and You might be finding some business closing deals here and there, but how are you going to know what parts of your brand are really truly working well and what things you should be putting more money towards? What things you should be really pushing stronger into if you're not tracking where things are coming from. So it's so important that you have some kind of way, some system in place, spreadsheets, paperwork, any kind of data, CRM, something that is going to help you to track where all of your things are coming from and in what way are they finding you. Is it from that social media marketing? Is it from the mail campaigns? You're going to have to build a strong habit of when you get phone calls or when you get random messages of asking, well, how did they find you? How did they come in touch with you? Because those things are what's going to help you to know, okay, this is what's working. Now let's lean into it and continue to grow our brand. Next up is going to be adapting to change. Number 9. So we need to discuss the importance of staying really agile with our brand and being able to adjust with the market trends and with the things that we see happening. So technological advancements, we know those things change. Just because you have a brand and it's been really solid for a while does not mean that that brand is going to work forever. We have seen rebrands constantly happening, right? People change logos, they change designs, they get new slogans, they make things better, they try new styles of marketing. Those are all really important things with building a brand, and you need to not be scared of pushing into those things. The more that you're able to really lean into being willing to make changes or adjustments when necessary, you're going to find so much more growth happening. And hey, sometimes those changes may not be great. That's the reason why we tried them, right? We are trying to see what are our best ways of working this and best ways of building our brand. So you have to make that choice where we take the risk when we can. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, but that is what's part of entrepreneurship, right? That we take those risks. Those risks, no matter how many times we try them, sometimes you're going to find that you're going to strike gold. But if you don't strike, you'll never know whether or not something's going to work. If you don't give it a try, you'll never know if it's going to work. So rather than taking so-and-so's word for it or taking advice from people from every single different direction, what works for them does not mean that won't work for you, and vice versa. Everyone's different. The way that they attack things are different. Their styles of doing things are different. So be unique to yourself. Try something that feels right to you and see if it works. The worst thing that happens is that you start again. That is part of business. That is part of growing a business. That's part of growing yourself. So just be willing to put in the time and put in the work. And then, of course, last but not least, we can talk about is going to be case studies or success stories. Those are so important to building a brand. You want those things on your website, on your social media. Something that I've implemented way more into my business recently is actually getting video testimonials and pictures rather than just words. I've noticed word testimonials are amazing on Google and in different review type places. You put them up on your Instagram and things, but I can tell you they are so much more powerful if you have a video of an actual client saying to you that, hey, they enjoyed that experience. And it's really not as difficult as you think. I have gone to something as simple as just having my iPhone, and I have a simple little lapel microphone that attaches to my phone. I stand there, and as I'm walking out of a business deal with my client, I will ask them, hey, how was your experience overall? Did you enjoy it? And I'll let them kind of speak for a second. Oh, we had a great time. We enjoyed it. How, was the team good? Was the communication well? Like anything you really love, blah, blah, blah. Let them talk. They're going to say everything that you need them to hear. And then you go, great. I need you to hold that thought. I'm going to turn on this camera and give you a microphone, and I would love for you to speak about that experience. The beautiful thing is I have unlimited film. We can delete it and watch it as many times as you want to. You love it. And I have editors who are going to make you sound and look awesome. Right? So those are so much more powerful than any type of other review or any other experience that we've had. So if you can take those opportunities and actually get video reviews and testimonials, or even have case studies that you can present to people, you are going to see your brand skyrocket and create trust and reliability so much higher. Recently, because I've started implementing that, I've noticed Google has trended me way higher than it was before. Now I'm getting many more calls and much more interest from Google there. And because my reviews, even though I don't have the most out of everyone in my area, my reviews look so reliable because of the things that clients are layering and posting also with their word reviews. And what we mean by case studies, for instance, some of the things that I've posted are before and afters, or just explaining what happened in an experience, right? Something that's so much stronger than, for instance, I see a lot of realtors, they will post things like, just sold, so happy for these clients. That's great. Look, I've been a victim of that as well and posting those things as well. But you know what's so much more powerful? What's the story behind it? How did you get that house under contract? What happened in inspections? Was there something crazy that you guys came across and then you had to overcome that in negotiations? Was there multiple offers that you had to fight? And how were you able to get your client's offer to stand out? Those types of things, hearing those things, how you overcame that for your client to find success. That is where the power is. That's when you start to build a powerful brand, right? Show them why you are different and why they should pick you over someone else. And that challenge can go toward any type of business, right? Show them success stories, reasons why someone picked you, why you overcame that challenge versus another business. That's when you're going to really see things change. That's when you're going to really see things change for you. Mortgage industry, right? If you were able to approve someone that someone else was not able to, did you work with them on their credit score? Did you work with them on their finances to get some things paid off? Did you help them understand where they were financially and where they needed to go versus another lender who just shut them down immediately? Those are the things that really start to make a difference, right? People see that you care, and then that is when you're going to make the sales and you're going to see your business start to skyrocket. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope this was super helpful for you and your branding. Of course, I am here if you have any questions. We love if you can leave us a review. Reviews are so extremely helpful. We are available on all of the streaming platforms. So if you could leave us a review, we love hearing back from you guys. It helps more find us within our community. And of course, if you are interested in any type of coaching with real estate, you can actually reach out to me. I would love to connect with you and show you more about how you can continue to build your brand or your business. I can answer any questions you may have, but of course, connect with us on social media. I would love to hear from you. And thank y'all for listening. I will see you guys in next week's episode.
Thank you for diving into the world of entrepreneurial grit, personal growth, and financial mastery. Drake is here to arm you with the necessary toolkit to cultivate, nurture, and realize your groundbreaking ideas. Keep journeying with us by tuning in to subsequent episodes at deepdivewithdrake.com. The path to a flourishing entrepreneurial life is within reach if you commandeer your professional voyage and steadfastly chase your ambitions. See you on the next highly engaging episode. Until next time.